So as a continuation of our discussion, let's have the classifications of categories of art. So we have different classifications, and the first of that is visual arts, or creations that appeal to the sense of sight and are mainly visual in nature. So there are two types. We have the graphic arts, which are the 2D or the two-dimensional, and then the second is the plastic arts, or the three-dimensional. So yes, graphic arts only involve two dimensions, which are length and height, width and height. Okay, so examples for this are painting, drawing, graphic processes, mechanical processes, graphic design, and photography. And for plastic arts, 3D, meaning aside from the length and width, or height and width, depth is added to the measurement. Okay, so it includes architecture and sculpture. Okay, now let me give you an example of these items. So first, for graphic arts, we have drawing. So it is the art of representing something by lines made on a surface, or the process of portraying an object, scene, or forms of decorative or symbolic meaning through lines, shading, and textures in one or more colors. So media used include pencil, pen, ink, crayon, brush, and charcoal. So in my examples, we have here 4 different art forms or drawings used with the different medium used. Okay, so the first artwork here, the first drawing, was created using a pencil. The second was through a charcoal, and then the third with the use of crayon. And finally, adding a fourth, ang iya gingamit na medium was a pen. Yeah, the usual and the normal and the ordinary pen. And ini was created by a, I don't know if he was a high school student ata from Mindanao, and then he was featured in one newspaper because of this one, yung mga art piece. So he created this Last Supper art drawing using pens on a receipt, a mercury drug receipt. Okay, next we have painting. So another example of a what you call this, a visual art painting or graphic art design. Okay, so here, painting is the process of applying pigment to a surface to secure effects involving forms and colors. Painting media include oils, watercolor, tempera, and others. So canvas, wood, paper, and plaster are some of the surfaces on which the paintings are executed. So in my examples, we have here the famous painting here, Starry Night, I guess. This was by Picasso, and it was created on a canvas using oil. And the second is an artwork or a painting by an anonymous creator. I just got this from the internet, and the art piece was painted on a wood. And this one is a graffiti. Okay, so graffiti meaning it was painted on the walls on the streets. And then the last one is a painting, watercolor painting in a paper. Okay, next, graphic processes. Okay, so another example of graphic arts. So these are processes for making multi-reproduction of graphic works. All processes involve the preparation of a master image of the drawing or design on some durable material such as wood, metal, or stone from which printing is done. So processes may be classified by the nature of the surface from which the printing is done. So relief printing or unwanted portions of design are cut away on the master image. The printed image is formed by the remaining surfaces. Examples are linoleum cuts, wood engraving, Japanese prints from wood cuts. So for us to better imagine this one, amin yung mga example. So in here, imagine a stamp, rubber stamp. So that is an example of a relief printing wherein there is, the art form is, kumbaga medyo naka-rise hiya, and then that's the only part nga, pag stamp mo, amo ang makikita nga image. So same with this one. In here, this is a, tawag a wood cup. Okay, and this is a wood engraving. Okay, next is graphic processes. These are processes for making multi-reproduction of graphic works. All processes involve the preparation of a master image of the drawing or design on some durable, graphic process. And another example is intaglio printing. Okay, so, or a method of printing from a plate on which incised lines which carry the ink leave erased impression. So examples are dry point etching and engraving. Okay, so here, if you can notice an elephant dito nga image, this is a product of a dry point intaglio printing. So naglilive yan bagan embossing effect. Okay, so another example of a graphic process is surface or plane printing. So it includes all processes in which printing is done from a flat or plane surface, and examples for this are lithography and silkscreen printing. I know that you are familiar with silkscreen printing. Probably iba naka-experience na nga ni. So this is actually used in transferring or printing on textiles. For example, ang mga t-shirts. So amoy ni ang classic naging gagamit. And this is actually way cheaper than heat press printing. Kay mahal material heat press, unlike this one. Okay, lithography naman ade, so it uses oil to actually kumbaga transfer the image. So ini nga mga parts didi nga waray oil amoy tuya dida na nabakat an ink hininga material or hininga material. Okay, another examples of graphic processes are mechanical processes, graphic design, and photography. So for mechanical processes, developed by commercial printers for rapid large quantity production of words and pictures in one or more colors. So example of a mechanical process is a magazine or book. Okay, and graphic design includes designing of books, advertising, signs, posters, and other display to promote sale or acceptance of a product, service, or idea. And photography, a mechanical process by which images are produced on sensitized surfaces by action of light, and reproductions of the original image, maybe in black or white or in full color. Okay, so examples of plastic arts. First is architecture. Yeah, it is considered as plastic art because it creates an art form or artwork that is 3D, or an artwork with depth, height, or length, and then width. So the art of designing and constructing buildings and other types of structures is considered as architecture. Varied materials used include stone, concrete, brick, wood, steel, glass, or plaster. Architecture is often referred to as the mother of the arts because it serves as background or occurs in relation to the other fields of art such as painting, sculpture, interior design, landscape architecture, and city planning. So some examples here are beautiful structures which were architecturally designed. So kung nakita-kita, these are not common buildings, but yes, they are buildings. Okay, so second example of plastic arts is landscape architecture. So planning outdoor areas for human use and enjoyment, especially gardens, parks, playgrounds, golf course, and others. Okay, so chief materials are plants, shrubs, flowers, vines, and ground cover. So in my examples, we have here a resort, a park, a recreational area, or probably a waiting area of another structure, and then this one is a garden. Okay, so next is city planning. So what is city planning? So this refers to planning and arranging the physical aspects of a large or small community. Structures and areas concerned with all phases of living and working are attractively and efficiently organized and related. So the best example for city planning is a diorama, or a miniature image of the whole city. So if you can notice, may mga ibang mga representation of the whole city, or sigunta itong mga model houses example. So those are example of this city planning. Another is interior design. So the term is used to designate design and arrangement of architectural interiors for convenience and beauty. It includes backgrounds such as walls, floors, and ceilings, also furnishings and accessories. So design of wallpaper, furniture, textiles for curtains, and upholstery are important fields of interior design. So yes, whatever design of the room is, kumbaga, is the job of the interior design. So this sets apart the job of the interior design from the architecture, because the architects do the structural designs, kumbaga kung ano magiging postura overall of the structure, while the interior design or the interior designer is in charge of the beautification of the interior or the inside of the structure. Okay, so another example of plastic arts, this is not B, it should be C. Okay, so we have relief sculptures and then freestanding. So this is very easy to spot because in relief sculptures, these the primary form surface is raised above the surrounding material. So we have two types of relief sculptures. We have bas or low relief or basso relievo, which refers to sculptures with a shallow extension of the image from its surroundings, and the high relief or the alto relievo, the most prominent elements of the composition are undercut and rendered at more than half in the round against the background. So you can actually take these as keywords. Basso meaning base, meaning lower relief, while the alto meaning higher relief. Okay, so meaning ang iya pag-emboss from the surface is higher compared han low relief. And the freestanding or self-supported is that the image is surrounded on all sides by space, and the viewer can walk completely around the work to see it from all sides. So di rin na kailangan mag-isip. So nga tanan nga statwa nga iyo nakikitaan nga as in freestanding itira. Okay, so tanan nga mga statwa nga nakikita niyo palibot, pwede niyo libutan. Okay, so here are some examples rather. So here, in this first image is an example of a low relief. So see the difference between the two. So this is actually this image depicts the arrival of the first Jesuit missionaries in Catbalogan. Yes, this structure is standing in the middle of the Capitol Park of Catbalogan. Hataas iniya yung nga structure or nga, yeah, a structure. And on top of that is the obelisk or the female with, ano ba tiyagin dadaram? Basta the female is carrying something at the top of this structure. And below this, may dito da mga pera katawo nga nagbubuhat hini nga structure, and it represents the different provinces of Samar. Okay, so the second is Tandang Sora Memorial Shrine. So if you can notice the difference between the pag-emboss an image hadi compared hadi, you can really say that this is high relief. So kumbaga mas taas ang iya pag-angat from the surface. And this one, the freestanding, an example is Jose Rizal bust statue. This can be seen in the Plaza of Catbalogan. Yes, and I'm proud because this is one of the most unique statues of Rizal, because this was creatively made. Yeah, Rizal's head is standing on top of his two novels carried by three naked men, which represents the three major islands of the Philippines, the Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and the reason why they are naked is the exact reason why the oblation of UP is kung bakit reason han paghubo, the oblation han statwahan UP. So that's the exact reason, for freedom and knowledge. Okay. So the second classification or category of art is performing or combined arts. So these forms of creative activity, these are forms of creative activities that are performed in front of an audience, such as drama, music, and dance. So first we have music. It is a form of art wherein its medium is sound arranged in perfect timing to create a musical piece. So when we talk about music, it's not just about singing. Okay, so it involves songwriting and composing or compositions. Okay, next is dance, created through simple and more complex movements in a rhythmic pattern accompanied by music to express a thought and a feeling. Okay, so anything that involves choreography is considered as dance. Okay, so film. Started from motion pictures, still images that create a movement of illusion, and nowadays has a term to describe as a movie played through videography. So film, before, is, kumbaga, they may be moving when they are played, but actually, they are series of still images, meaning images lang sunod-sunod nga ginhimo, just like when you are creating an animation before, drawing niya, damo kalainhin drawing just to create a movement. Okay? So theater is a form of collaborative art with live performers. The actors or actresses typically present the real experience or thoughts to an actual audience, place, and a given stage. So between the two, theater is more difficult. Kay, example, a movie pwede mag-cut. But in theater, this is just one big blow. Kay, there's no cut, there's no second, kumbaga second na pag-present. Okay? So, everything is live. So, you are not allowed to make mistakes. And then next is literature, a written or spoken work of art of man's best thoughts and good feelings and emotions. Spoken poetry can be one product of literature that is immensely renowned in this contemporary time and has been injected before a song to create a more aesthetic piece of combined and performed art. So yes, literature includes poetry making, book creation, so that includes literature. Okay, or those are included in literature. Okay. So, we also have digital art, a form of art meant to be displayed in a computer or computer-generated system and is evidently of great use nowadays, especially in this pandemic with the shift of paper to computer. Digital art is one way or another to alter the educational system and modality towards academic learning. So, yes, kunhan una ang paghimo han animation, tag-usa-usa nga pag-drawing, ini ha digital art, it is easily, kumbaga, drawn digitally and then can create something na like a film or bisan ano, na kunhan una ang paghimuhan mga images, paper, pencil pa, haya na, pwede ka na mag-drawing directly to the computer. Okay, so the last one is applied arts. Those artistically applied designs and decorations and everyday objects to make them beautifully attractive. So anything that has an application of the designs and decorations is considered as applied arts. Okay, and before I end my lesson, let me give to you your second art output. So this is actually easier, okay? Although maaram ako, and first one is also easy and you will have fun doing that. So you have to look for clippings of the two categories of visual arts. So you have to pick two of each category of the visual arts, two for graphic and two for plastic. So find examples of the identified categories, arrange them in separate sheets of letter-sized bond paper or A4 or long, whatever you have available nala, with proper labeling and description, and then include sources at the bottom of each picture. So you can get these clippings from magazine, newspapers, or old books, or even online, for as long as you indicate the source of the image. Okay, so that would be all for now, and hope to have a fun discussion again in lesson 1.2. I will just inform you of the updates on lesson 1.2. Thank you!